When will you guys listen to black people? When will you study what black people have been studying? We know the colonizers. They're using the same playbook. They're changing the characters, changing up the wording, but it's the same shit they've been doing to black people forever in this country. And for some reason, y'all just won't listen to black people. This is the same thing. This is called sharecropping. Wow.
Hi guys, and welcome to the channel. So for years, the agricultural sector has faced a tight labor market as farm workers age and fewer new immigrants and younger Americans are willing to toil in the field. Now, Trump administration officials vowed that mass deportations would help, leading to higher wages with better benefits and at least a 100% American workforce. It was just like yesterday when we were here sharing video clips on deportations. These people were complaining, oh, we have to deport these. There was ICE issues everywhere. People were being deported. They are taking people's jobs. They are doing this. They are doing that. So they were deported. Now, the administration has quietly acknowledged in recent months that its immigration raids and crackdown on the border have aggravated the issue. So it has instead turned to an alternative source, making it cheaper for farmers to hire immigrant farm workers on temporary visas. When will you people listen to black people? Let's take a look at these video clips which I've put together. Of course, credit belongs to the original creators of these videos. And please remember, this does not support any bullying or harassment. It's there for educational purposes.
So now the Trump administration wants migrants back, right? Finally, we're back because apparently we can't seem to find enough farm workers to work our own crops. It's funny because we deported them all because we wanted to make jobs for Americans. So what happened to all that, President Trump? You realize that our own American citizens, born and raised here, are so lazy that they refuse to do jobs that these migrants did. And now you're quietly trying to put them back into the system so they can go in there and work on our crops, or our food price is going to go astronomically really high. I mean, the hypocrisy and the irony of this all is literally shocking to me. And I'm just curious as to what MAGA has to say here. And if MAGA supports what President Trump is doing. But if you don't believe me, I have links attached. Go check it out.
In breaking news, Brooke Reynolds, the agricultural secretary, said we have to combat the lack of migrant workers by hiring migrant workers. So after the immense push for deportation raids on construction and farms and whatnot, it's now led to a financial crisis, especially for farmers. And the answer, according to the United States government, is to hire migrant workers. This comes because 4,000 agricultural jobs, farming jobs, were posted since last year, and 148 Americans were applied and hired to those positions of 4,000. Okay, and these are permanent jobs, not just part-time or seasonal. These are permanent. And this goes to the argument when they scream they took our jobs. Yeah, well, the migrants weren't there. They posted the jobs legally, and Americans never came to the call, which means that this whole rhetoric that they took our jobs seems to have been a lie the whole time. Or you can just confirm that with the agricultural secretary and Trump, who are saying we have to combat the lack of migrant workers with migrant workers. Y'all, if this ain't a joke, I don't know what else this administration could be. Y'all have a good day.
Racism is very expensive, and it rarely ever benefits anyone in the nation to enact racist policies, racist laws, or operate from a racist point of view. The Trump administration is currently looking to address the farm worker shortage in America by allowing farmers to bring back migrant workers. You heard that correctly. The same migrant workers that the Trump administration were harassing, rounding up, putting in detention centers, and going and raiding farms last year. Well, he says that we need to bring them back. It's almost as if they were functioning members of society that were contributing to the overall sustainability, economy, and access to this country. This is happening because Donald Trump's administration, they said that if we deport all migrant workers, there will be more jobs for Americans. The job market will be 100% American, and people will have higher wages. What has happened? Most Americans do not want to work on farms, especially young ones, and that's always been the case for this country. And those farmers who are here are old, and a lot of other people are just too scared to go to work. So they are augmenting their visa programs with the H-2A visa program. This is so crazy for several reasons. It's because this was always what migrant workers did. The farmers, those people who worked, they paid taxes. They never even receive benefits from the taxes they paid into the economy. And they allowed people to have access to fresh foods and access to goods in this country. Now the administration quietly is admitting that they're wrong. They'll never make a public declaration of this, but this is why we say racism is expensive. Happy Sunday.
The Trump administration is now counting on migrant workers to help fix the labor shortage hitting American farmers. I'm Major League, and this is news you need to know. The New York Times is reporting that President Trump is now considering a plan to allow farmers and business owners to vouch for undocumented staff to keep them from being deported. This comes after agricultural leaders and officials like California Governor Gavin Newsom warned that the industry is being hit hard by labor shortages due to ICE raids and the Trump administration's immigration policy. And I'm sure you'll be surprised to learn that the MAGA supporters that have spent the last year relentlessly thirsting for mass deportations have proven to be unwilling to get in these fields and take these low-paying jobs on U.S. farms. Under the proposal the Trump administration is considering, workers who have no criminal record could receive a pass to stay in the country if their employers advocate for them. The administration is reportedly working on the specific details of this legislation to ensure that those businesses stay functional. It is important to point out that this measure would allow private employers to decide who gets to stay and who gets to leave. This dramatically changes the power dynamic between workers and bosses. So instead of just ceding the point that immigrants are actually vital to our economy, they are now putting these undocumented workers' citizenship status in the hands of corporate farmers and bosses. This will not end well. But I want to know what you think. Drop your thoughts in the comments and remember to follow Major League TV on all platforms.
So immigrants were stealing American jobs up until Americans actually had to do them? So the Trump administration has quietly lowered the price for H-2A visas, so farmers can bring migrant workers back to the country to work on farms. Why, you ask? Because America has spent the last year vilifying immigrants. But the second that labor disappears, the government is like, well, maybe we should think about bringing them back. Because see, before the election, Americans swore up and down that immigrants were taking these jobs and an American would work on a farm and do this stuff. So where are the Americans at? Are they suddenly allergic to farm work? Migrants were pushed out, threatened with detention camps, and treated like criminals. So why should they come back just to pick crops? So I'm asking y'all, should migrants come back to work on the farms? Or should they stay away because America made it clear they ain't safe here?
We were told that because of the migrant farm laborers, right, who were here, citizens of this country were not able to buy houses. The rents were going up because of them. That we were taking jobs away from American citizens. It's funny because President Trump is now actually passing something in Congress where now he is going to require all these migrants to actually come in and apply to this specific visa program where the wages are still going to be lower than your minimum wage in this country. Okay, so don't confuse that. But now they're realizing that the people in this country are so lazy that nobody actually wants to go out there and work the fields. So tell me again, how did you benefit kicking these people out? You didn't, did you? You made a mountain out of a molehill, and now we're the ones paying price for it. Great job, MAGA. Seriously, next time, use your brains.
You truly cannot make this stuff up, bro. To address farm labor shortage, Trump administration turns to migrant workers. Not a headline that I would really expect to see, right? But it turns out that because there is a labor shortage in the agricultural sector here in the US, aka farm workers mostly, the Trump administration has just made it cheaper for American farmers to sponsor and hire H-2A agricultural workers. For those of you guys that do not know what H-2A is, it is a temporary work visa program. Yes, you heard that right. Visa program under this administration that they're facilitating so American farmers can basically hire folks from other countries that want to come work in their farms here in the US temporarily. Of course, there's a shortage because number one, the immigration raids and Trump's overall immigration policy has scared people away from working on many of these farms, right? But number two, we know that most natural born American citizens that claim to be the most hardworking, those that claim we're stealing their jobs, would never work these extremely difficult, extremely demanding, and extremely important jobs that keep the US economy running and keep you and me fed with groceries in our stores. So to help alleviate this labor shortage, this administration has adjusted how wages are paid to H-2A farm workers, right? Lowering them between $1 and $7 depending on the state. Farm owners can now also include housing as part of the compensation package they provide to guest farm workers. Many farmers have celebrated those changes made to an increasingly popular visa program, as I told you guys, H-2A, noting the difficulty in hiring American workers and tough economic conditions for the industry. Now, it's important to note that the United Farm Workers of America have filed a lawsuit against the administration for this reduction in wages of H-2A workers. They argue that the rule will adversely harm American farm workers by lowering their wages as well as pushing them out of the labor force entirely. And it is true that the H-2A program has historically had issues with exploitation, human trafficking, labor trafficking, all that stuff. But many people from places like Mexico, Central America, Jamaica, a lot of different countries take that chance and they enter this program to come work in the US temporarily because they earn their income, even if it's lower, in US dollars, and then that translates to more money in their national currency, right? Isn't it crazy how they love us for our labor? They love Latinos for their labor. They love immigrants from other countries for their labor, but they don't love them for anything else. God forbid you give them any kind of permanent legal status to be dignified in this country. All while you brutalize us on the streets, racially profile us, jail us, deport us, do all kinds of abhorrent things to our community. Donald Trump es un descarado.
Let me talk about the hypocrisy in this whole situation because when Trump came into the office as president of the United States, there were promises, to deport uh, immigrants, to deport people that they thought were really taking their jobs, that they were occupying American people's spaces and their jobs and stuff, that they were building in their lands and they were succeeding and stuff. And so they decided to kick them out. A whole, like, let me just say the whole of last year, we were sharing videos on ice raiding this place, ice raiding that, farmers this, farmers that, the Hispanic people, they were uh, there was so much reports going on concerning the people getting deported, and we could see the drama that was coming out of different workplaces where even bosses even the bosses of different companies were turning in their workers. Okay, and then it turns out that the Americans, that the people they said whose jobs were being occupied by these migrants rather, have failed to work. It hasn't even been up to a year because it was last year, yeah, early last year when these deportations were taking place. It hasn't been that very long time for this kind of thing to turn out. Everything has gone left, literally, and now they are looking to, facilitate the same migrants to go back to America. They are facilitating that process for them by this H2A visa and stuff, the facilitation and everything that they are doing. And I know literally this is like, it sounds like a joke. In as much as it sounds like a joke, it is so real, and it is so, I don't even know, for lack of better term, this is like, the hypocrisy in this is just too much. It is something I cannot even stand. Because one day you're saying, okay, this person is taking up my job, so they should go back. Let them go back to their country, and when that happens, we'll take that place. So all the immigrants were deported. And last time I do remember, I even made a video when these immigrants were being deported. It was posted by the White House Instagram account. They were in chains, and they were being laid to this plane. And the White House posted illegal immigrants, ASMR, illegal immigrants deportation. And I was like, what is ASMR about this whole thing of putting chains around these people and leading them to a plane, saying you are deporting them back to their countries? Okay, so it hasn't been long now. Here we are. Donald Trump is wanting to make it easy for the same people that left his country to go back there. And because they are saying there is a shortage of farm workers, so things are not turning out the way they thought they would turn out, because apparently these are jobs that feed most of the Americans, but the Americans themselves cannot do these jobs. Can you just see now? Can you just see? It is these immigrants that they kicked out that have this, ability to work on the farms. Yeah, it turns out that the same Americans cannot even take it. They cannot take these jobs. They can't. I don't know if I can say it's being lazy, or maybe the services are not okay, but they cannot take these kinds of jobs. But these are jobs that really, really feed the people. And so, yes, here we are again. It has become easy. Everything has been facilitated. They want them back on their jobs. The hypocrisy is something that I cannot stand in this case, anyways, you guys. You heard that for yourself. Do go on, share your thoughts in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this in the comment section below. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. I will definitely catch you in the next one.